Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Speed Gaming 3. This is one of your two commentators tonight, J-Ro Boy.
How's it going,
Alongside,
J-Ro?
we've got Matrick here.
You know it. The gate has been dropped. We're about to get things started here. This is going to be exciting. We have, this is the first race in this year's 2024 Crystalis Randomizer tournament. There's one thing about this particular flag set this year that's really special that if you haven't actually seen before, you are in for a treat. Because the Wild Warp flag is on this year. So you want to talk a little bit about what Wild Warp is, J-Ro?
Yeah, maybe if any of you were enterprising young strapping kids when you played this game and goofed around on the second controller, there's a debug code left in the vanilla game that will warp you to one of 16 different locations. We took those locations and randomized them. So as they go throughout the game, they'll have the ability at any point to warp to one of these random locations. And the game expects you to be able to reach these at any point in time. So we'll probably see a warp here or there very soon once they go and steal from the shop here. That's another thing we'll talk about in a bit. But there we go. Archibald did his first warp of the game. So just keep that in mind. At any point, they could fade out just like Tornel did there and go to different areas.
So one of the new things for this tournament is that we have randomized the actual number of locations that there are. It used to be a static 16 number of locations every time, but that value has been randomized. So we're not sure how many locations they have yet. We did get our first warp right into Cordell Plains, and we find out that Akahana wants a Carissa plant. And so that's the first trade-in we're going to be looking for.
I think you need to look again. He said his name was I'm Mashamahana, actually.
You also may notice that Archibald has been purchasing a lot of items at no cost. That's a swamp warp. We got a couple of locations, Sabera's Fortress here, and then Goa. Lovely.
So I'm gonna have to see some more of these warp locations soon because this is hurting my brain already.
So interestingly enough, what I did to ensure that that was Sabera's 2 floor, that's the pyramid. What I did is I made sure that's the crypt actually.
Wow.
We have a crypt location.
Access.
So getting crypt access means they do not require the bow of sun and moon, but they do require the bow of truth. Now I'm not really sure what Tornel is doing here. I guess he was just verifying that it was the crypt. Archibald, meanwhile, taking his windmill key and opening that up. That is a free item. Getting back to what I was mentioning, I made sure that the pallets were guaranteed to be shuffled and that the music was shuffled. And this way, players do not know what location they have warped to based on the palette and the music. So normally that would be a dead giveaway. But in order to encourage map knowledge as a skill, I made sure that the maps are unrecognizable at first. It's, you actually have to know what the map looks like. Ha! That is a very useless bow of moon there for Arch. We know that is not going to be necessary.
Yeah, normally when you play through the game, you need 3 bows, 4 swords, flight to complete the game as far as items go. And the reason you need the 3 bows is 2 bows are required to get into the crypt. But because we have a crypt portal, we can just skip Bow of Moon and Bow of Sun by using that crypt wild warp.
That is correct. And so Tornel picks up his Bow of Moon, and Arch is still exploring this cave, finds a mimic, dodges the flail guy because of the poison tick.
Look, it's just poetic justice when the mummies get poisoned, okay? I really appreciate that skin so far. Oh, Sword of Thunder, he's out of here.
That is a Sorg of Chunker, and it's going to take us into Swan, which doesn't help them at this point because there's actually nothing to do there without additional items. Tornel also finding the mimic and deciding to give it a hug.
So at this point, with all of these different locations they've opened up, is the play to actually dive back into the windmill cave
It probably
and get
is,
that last chest?
because you got one more chest you can check. Now, granted, because they had Saberatu's floor here, and Arch is going to go straight for Mado 2 with really low scaling. This is probably a smart move because this is normally a very big pain point. And so if you can damage him, but he can't.
Can't damage.
If you could have killed him early, that is ideal because he is a big pain point. But this is Sabera's floor, and Arch isn't going to be able to do a whole lot of anything here, especially if this wall doesn't break. So this is a 25% chance check. Meanwhile, Tornel is back in the vampire cave, doesn't want to leave that last item there. Well, it was not a thunder sword for that wall, so...
Let's see if this other wall's thunder. Not thunder.
So this
That's another flag for people who've played the vanilla game that they might not know about. Is we have it set so that you can destroy walls with just the level 1 charge.
So one of the flags that's on in this is that the the hazmat suit is not guaranteed, which means these masses of spikes, they're not guaranteed to be able to safely walk over them. Insect flute, oh, that could be so bad. Can you imagine doing the bug without a what do you call it? Gas mask?
Without the hazmat suit?
Oh god.
If that's actually required,
that would be hilarious.
If that's actually required, at least you can steal from shops.
Yeah.
So you could just steal a bunch of medical herbs, but wow.
So Tornel picked up paralysis as the last item in the vampire cave. Great to have. Doesn't provide them with anything at this point from a progression standpoint, but it is a very, very potent item for controlling enemies.
Yeah, they don't have a turn-in item, so even though they had the warp to Swan, they can't finish off the Kensu and Swan quest yet until they get the turn-in for him.
The second item in the crypt is garbage. That's a mimic. And yes, while I am aware that Logic does make sure that the hazmat suit is available for the giant insect, players don't follow Logic very often. Tornel going to check on Sabera and Mado. Going to find the same news Arch did. Meanwhile, Arch is going to go back and pick up that last item in the vampire cave. Now, my guess is at this point, we're looking at Saber South. Because nobody has bothered to check that yet. And I haven't seen any other locations that are accessible. So my guess is we have Thunder Walls on Saber South.
Tornel's about to do his crypt dive then.
Yep. And he's going to start with the far item, which is interesting. Which we know is a mimic. This is also a terrible floor, full of deadly butterflies. Those beholders, you think deadly. No, butterflies are far more dangerous.
While they're currently checking other things which we already know the contents of, I do want to point out there's vanilla shops on in this flag set. And what that means is all of the items in the shops are where they are in vanilla, but also all of the cost and the glitches related to it. And that's how they've been able to steal items from the shop. It's actually a really easy glitch to pull off in the vanilla game. So they should never run out of money as long as they have a armor and pawn shops. You can always just steal some armor and pawn it off. But while money's not a problem, you tend to run into problems with making sure you have the items when you need them. But I mean, they're all really good at this. It shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Tornel has decided to go back. He wants more medical herbs before he goes and explores a little more, and he's going to check Saber South. So is Arch. Everybody seems to have come to the same conclusion I have. Now, I noticed, since I mentioned that there were a lot less warp points than normal, this looks like a minimum amount. I think this is 5 locations, which is the minimum, if I'm not mistaken.
One thing that could be in the flag set is you could have to do a hell run over to Oak in order to unlock the Stom fight.
That is true. And it's a wind wall. It's a hell run.
All right, let's see if Archibald gets that read. He's doing medical herb count. There it is.
So usually you can do this with about 5 herbs. So it's not too bad. And if you really get unlucky, you can actually use some pause strats to get you through. If you pause on the frame when you take the damage, you skip the damage tick. This means you need to, I think I forget how many pauses you need, but it's a pause every 16 frames, if I'm not mistaken, which is not easy to do, but you can do it.
So Arch has the correct read on this. Tornel's figured out the read too.
I love that our first race here has a required L run. That's 4 herbs. There's 5 herbs. Looks like Arch is going to use a 6th herb, and he's in.
Tornel forgetting that there's a wild warp right there. Making the long run.
Arch going to go jack a pair of warp boots here and go and warp out and get our whatever our progressionary item here is, because it has to be this. There's nothing left at this point. So if I had to guess, we're either looking at a sword of wind or a sword of water here.
Yeah, both of those would open up quite a lot.
Yeah.
Or
so would change.
Change could get them through Goa, right? To Goa?
Change would get them into the Goa region, which opens up a few more checks right off the bat. It could be a Carissa plant, could be Akahana, but yeah, I'm thinking we're much more likely to get a sword here.
So Archibald's about to cheese this fight. It turns out it only checks your Y position. See, so if you warp out and your Y position is high enough, like here in the town of Leaf, ta-da, you win.
It's the hazmat suit. They need to use the insect flute. Are you serious? Oh my god!
You asked me to roll the seed.
What
I rolled the
gem.
seed.
What a gem this is. This has been mwah. I commend you, J-Ro. This is absolutely a legendary start. I love it.
Just think, if they got... What could they get here?
Well, again, we're looking at swords or change or a Carissa plant. God, what a legend. This is so good.
So since there's no requirement to get Bow of Sun, I really hope they get an early Bow of Sun.
Alarm flute. So that means we now are going back to the windmill guard, and we're gonna get our progression there. Come on, you know what? Let's keep the chain going. Carissa plant. Give me the Carissa plant. Show me Carissa plant, game. You can do this.
It wouldn't be a fetch quest if there wasn't a million things to fetch first.
Progression level, slow. This is amazing. We have 8 scaling, we have Wild Warp on, and we have access to 2 areas and nothing. Just amazing. The most useless Wild Warp yet.
Tornel plowing through the bug, doing a good job. Big old giant insect. If you're used to the vanilla game and you haven't noticed, on the new HUD, we've rearranged some things so that we could fit some enemy health on there. And it's really meant for the spectators, you know. People watching your game can enjoy to see how close you got to beat the boss before you died. So.
Love pendant. Who wants the love pendant?
I think it's got to be vanilla on Kensu, right? And Swan?
They have paralysis, yeah, so it's a Swan turn in.
Because Mashamahana wanted...
Yeah, he wanted the Carissa plant. Come on, give me the Carissa plant. I'm begging you, game, please, give me the Carissa plant. Yeah, one of the Wild Warps takes you right outside of Mesame. This has been just the most awesome scene. I could not have asked for a better start to this so far. This is beautiful.
You know, I didn't even think about that. I thought it was like a bug. I was like, oh, the mezzanine
No.
shrine just takes you out front. Like, that's bugged.
It
Maybe
just
we'll have to
grabs.
fix it.
Yeah, it just grabs a random screen. Telepathy. Back to Oak.
Back to Oak.
The game wants to make sure they're going to do everything that's possible to be done in the early game before they give them access to anything else.
This might give Tornel a little bit of time to catch up because he could warp back to.
Arch forgot to talk to
He didn't talk to the mom.
Tornel, are you kidding me?
I hope Tornel steals some extra boots here. Yep, I think that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna steal some extra boots, and that way he can quickly warp back to Oak after.
Yeah. Arch, losing a little bit of time here, losing a little bit of his lead on Tornel thanks to forgetting to talk to Oak Mom. I also love this monochrome, Game Boy-esque, you know, Metroid 2 looking palette in the swamp. That's a beauty. There it is, the Sword of Water. Okay. Well, I knew it was coming. It had to have either been wind or water. Watch it be wind, too. Nope, garbage. Okay, so that would, to me, that means we're going right back to Sabera's area. Oh, we could go to Amazonas. There's a free item here.
Yeah, Arch is going to check that out. We do have, like you mentioned, Sabera has that entire... that doesn't look normal.
What is going on? Why is that not working?
Is that not working?
Huh?
Maybe he's broke the game somehow.
Wait, hang on. Hold on. Oh! You know what? I think Chris is right. The screen has to be reset. And the reason for that is because it's initialized on the other side. So it hasn't reinitialized the screen. So Arch is a little confused, and it's because the screen hasn't initialized. Yeah. So what happens is, like Code says, when you wild warp into that screen, you come in on the right side. And so the screen didn't realize that you were on the left. It's weird like that.
Yeah, in the game, those puddle things are an object, and so they have to be loaded, and they have to be loaded at the certain spot. And the Bryn Mawr map there is actually a big, like, 2 maps stitched together.
Right, so, right at the bridge over by where the Caladan spot is there in the grass. Good old Caladan. Alright, so Arch gets the first item there. It's a consumable. Tornel's going to pick up the other one here. Ball of water. Okay.
Now I feel like we've got ourselves a real race on our hand.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty neck and neck, and both of them are just as confused. Still plenty of room for slip-ups and mix-ups and the lead to switch back and forth here, but...
Arch is going to go back later to Cordell and just be like, why didn't that work last time?
Unless he wild warps in again.
Could be. I missed what Tornel picked up there. What was it? Did you see it?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, we'll see it from Arch here in just a second. It was teleport. Oh, excellent. Okay, so yeah, probably not going to be using Wild Warp to get back to Cordell again. Just going to warp to Bryn Mawr. It's, you know, faster than going through 5 locations.
So now that leaves them with really not much use of Wild Warp except to get into the crypt and to get back here and try to fight Mado quickly.
So I'm also not sure what Arch is doing. He's already been to the top of this place, and he's already, you know, tried Sabera too. So I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, Archie did it again. Go into... Okay, good.
Okay, I think he's only planning on stealing a warp boots here or something, but...
Okay, so Sabera 2 is water weak.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Arch, meanwhile, going to give this another shot. Going to be like, oh, okay, cool. It was a weird bug.
So Tornel is going to have to make it through Sabera 2, and this is the problem, is the seed gave them so many fetch quest items in a row that Sabera is actually a bit challenging at this point.
Yeah, still has a lot of defense, and there's not a lot of levels. Power Ring! That would have been extremely helpful.
That's a big pickup.
Right before Sabera 2 as well. What a great find. And also, Arch is going to go and check Saber North, looks like.
With that's right, because you just need teleport to get past that.
Right. So they can use the rabbit skip, and they're going to teleport. They got teleport to go to Saber North, so Arch is going to hit Saber North, and we're going to get a nice split here. Now, the real question is going to be, what's on the other side of Sabera? Now, for us commentators and the viewers, the best thing we could see would be Kelbesk's area, which has nothing in it, and then we have Kelbesk that can't actually be hit by either one of the swords that Tornel has. Because, you know, we always want to make sure it's the worst thing possible, and that's the worst thing I could think of after this Sabera.
Dying right now would be the absolute worst thing. She
Yeah.
just bodied him right there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it happening. Tornel's got a lot of healing. And yeah, he's got this in the bag. All right, what's our first item on Saber North?
Let's see, can he get through the wall?
Yes.
Can get through the wall.
And that's a prison key. Oh, no. So... Arch is going to get all the way to the top of the mountain. Kelbesk is going to be killable. But the game is... Oh, it's the backside of Goa. This is the river check. So Sabera, that wild warp spot takes you to the end. Oh. All right. Well, we're going to see what's here in the Oasis Cave. Watch it be flight.
You know, I was going to say that Arch getting the power ring is going to save so much time off the Sabera fight. It might have been better to, you know, it might be better for Arch. But now with the Tornel picking up the fog lamp. But yeah, now that Tornel has that key to prison, he's going to be able to one-shot all of Saber North.
And the other thing is that not only is he going to be able to fully clear Saber North, but he just picked up the fog lamp, which is going to be necessary on the other side. Because we have Vanilla Dolphin interactions on, and there's a pretty good likelihood at this point that if the game is pointing them towards picking up a shell flute and then getting onto the ocean here pretty quick. That's what I would be, if I'm running this race, that's what I'm thinking. Smooth skip there for Tornel, very nice.
Not even a slowdown.
Nope, that's a true runner right there. The fog lamp may not be, but all signs are currently pointing towards yes. I just shook the magic 8-ball, and it never lies.
You know, we can hope for worse, though, Matrick.
Could be.
It's not too late to see something like, I don't know, fog lamp turn into, I don't know. I can't even think right now.
Well, here's the thing, is that as far as turn-ins are concerned, we have Fog Lamp, and we have a couple of statues, and the Carissa plant, which we already know is for Akahana. So there's not that many options that are left. We have Kensu's turn-in, Slime Kensu, we have Aurelius, and we have the Boat Owner. That's about it. So, you know, what was that? I missed it.
An antidote.
Antidote Garbo. Well, he needed it, though. You know what? Hey, take it.
He's about to need a lot more than an antidote when he realizes this is going to be painful.
He's about to need a Sabera kill. You know what would be even better? I just thought about something that could be even better.
I'm always down for evil.
Let's hope that Kelbesk is not killable and that they've missed something.
What could they have missed?
Nope.
Killable. Okay.
Dang, he's hitting hard. Dude, like
the only thing I would wish is that the items were unidentified, so that when they got that first bow, they would just spend the rest of the game thinking, "Is this the bow of truth? Is this the bow of truth?"
Right. Okay, so Arch going for Sabera 2 now. Gonna find out he can kill her, and this is gonna put him on the path. You know, if you just kill Kelbesk and then you kill Sabera, do you immediately go back, or do you check what's behind Sabera? Because Arch has a choice to make here, and depending on what's going to happen in Portoa region, it could be the wrong choice. And that would be an easy location to orphan.
I'm trying to remember what was the item on the...
It's the fog lamp.
The river. The fog lamp. That's right.
Yeah. So that could be huge. You know what? And Tornel hasn't checked it, to my knowledge. I didn't see it. So it also could be our crease plant item. Because I don't think he tried to hand it to the air yet. Well, he didn't try to hand it to the air.
Oh, I see what you mean.
We don't know if it was... Well, but again, Zero, it depends on whether or not Arch goes, oh, I got the key to make progress, or whether Arch decides to check behind it and go, you know, because he knows he can get back here quite quick. Wow, that hit twice. 35 damage. Okay, Arch is going behind. Okay, Arch going to go ahead and check it. Good. Tornel, meanwhile, makes it to Kelby. Now, interestingly enough, Tornel still does not have that power ring. Because Tornel has not been to Amazonas yet. So, yeah, this is going to be a little bit slower of a fight. Arch forgetting he has the hazmat suit. Or doesn't care, one of the two.
So at this point, Tornel's definitely in the lead, even though the numbers say that they have the same scaling and such. But Arch is going to have to make a long climb back up now with that key to prison.
Arch made it with 2 pixels of health, 8 HP. Each one of the little, whatever you want to call those, represents 4 HP.
The actual math on it is actually really weird, but it's good enough to think of it as 8 HP.
Well, I mean, you can actually go to 1 HP where you have 0 on the bar. You're right. It's a little wonky, but in general,
they're split into like 16 chunks, and the amount of HP that each of those little dashes represent is different depending on which dash they are. So, like, the first one represents 1 HP, the next one represents 3, and the next one represents 5. It's kind of really jank like that, but
nice.
Yeah.
So what is the glitched item in the shop? All right, this one requires a little bit of explanation. Essentially, the glitched item in the shop is due to a code error in which line breaks were skipped by the program. And so instead of there being an empty slot, which should read 00 in that location, it's grabbing garbage. So it's basically just pulling crap from the ROM. It's just a bug in the code. It needs to be addressed, and it is known.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't have enough time to fix it before it, and it was just kind of like, it doesn't hurt anything. You can't do anything with it, and it just looks bad. But
yeah,
there's a couple of those just looks bad bugs hanging around still.
Some of those are really annoying to fix too. That's a ball of wind.
Like that NPC that Tornel saw on his side.
Yeah, the
which
one that
has
has
2
the
heads.
Wrong head.
Yeah.
2 halves of a head facing the wrong direction. That is a fog lamp that the boat owner is asking for.
So because it's vanilla dolphin interaction, you have to cure the dolphin first, right?
Right. So that means Well, no, you have to talk to Rage, then you have to go to the boat owner and give him the fog lamp, and then you have to heal the dolphin. The dolphin will not appear to be healed until after you have handed the fog lamp in.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I just played a seed and I healed the dolphin and then turned in the fog lamp. I think you have to talk to a Cena.
No, maybe
before
it is
dolphin
the other way
shows up.
around. It might be the other way around. It might be healing the dolphin before the boat owner appears.
Yeah, the code gorilla in the chat agrees. I'm pretty sure.
You're probably right, and the reason that I'm thinking that is because when we do speed runs, you always hit the castle before you hit the boat. So yeah, that makes sense. My brain was a little frazzled. Correct. Yes, code is right. That's a wind wall. So our fog lamp... Wait, that's not fog lamp cave. That's Carissa cave. So our Carissa plant cave is wind. So Arch is
running out of magic.
Yep.
Time
Arch...
to heal up at... Oh, go ahead.
No. I was going to say Arch is just checking the waterfall cave first. So while Tornel went to the bottom of the Portoa region first, Arch has opted to go to the top. And yes, Tornel ran out of MP and needed to hit the inn and leave. And that's a wind wall as well.
Oh for 2 so far. We could go. We can go more. We can 0 for 3.
Well,
Let us know, Arch. Is it 0 for 3?
There's a really high likelihood here that one of these items is going to be the Sword of Wind.
Okay, watching.
The magic of flight. So the location in... Yeah, that's flight on the ocean. So that means they need the gold statue.
Wow, flight on the ocean. So you have to also have the dolphin, too. I don't think they have the dolphin flute either. Shell flute.
We have not found the shell flute yet. So shell flute may be in Fog Lamp Cave. Now, Tornel is going to go here, and he's going to hand in the fog lamp to the boat owner, and the boat owner is going to let him ride the boat. But see, because vanilla dolphin interactions are on, Kensu's... Oh, he does have the shell flute.
He does have the shell flute.
Rage must have given it to him.
Shell flute was behind prison door.
Okay, that's where it was.
That.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. It was the paralysis location. Okay. So I was correct. Everything was pointing to ocean access.
So with the ocean access, they get...
Well, they get the waterway location, and they now have ESI checks to make.
So in the vanilla game, in order to get the item behind the whirlpool, all you had to do was go behind the whirlpool.
Correct.
But we changed it so that now you have to actually calm the sea, like they expect you to do in the original game. So that check right there is flight. That's going to be the biggest thing they could get, is if they can calm that sea.
To answer your question, Zero, we don't know, because Tornel is allergic to the fog lamp cave, and Arch has opted not to go there yet. So we're not entirely certain. But ESI has too many checks to ignore. So I do agree with Tornel's play here. This is a 6-check location. And if you're able to get, and fully clear out Sabera's fortress, then that would mean that you're talking 9, 10 items at that point. 11 if you count Clark, and you can full clear it. So ESI is absolutely just chock full of stuff. So this is definitely the play.
There's a bit of a combat tip for anyone who might be new to the game. Paralysis works wonders on these flail guys. You paralyze them, they don't flail you anymore.
Speed boots! Oh no.
Now, for the sake of a competitive race, I'm so glad Archibald is going straight. He's going to get the speed boots, and they're going to be pretty even then. But I would be really upset if, Arch didn't go here, and then the race was just lost over speed boots.
I mean, it's not a guaranteed win when you get speed boots first, but it is time that is never made up. You cannot make up time over somebody, that time that they get the speed boots is just time that you're behind. That is a Psycho armor, so that's a good find.
That's going to really help out with the vampire fight and the Severa fight coming up.
Yeah, it's a lot less contact damage for sure.
Vampire notorious for telefragging you is
in the last bootleg restream we did during one of the seeding races. I don't know if you were watching, but Zero, our resident Zero, was fighting the Vampire 2, whose name was Captain Telefrag. And the Vampire 2 teleported directly on top of Zero and killed him. So Captain Telefrag got a kill with a Telefrag. It was awesome. It was so
the
good.
hero we needed.
Oh, absolutely. We all deserved it that night. Even Zero. I'll pull the VOD, Zero. Don't make me get the VOD. Pretty sure that was the bootleg restream I was doing, not the one where I did.
So for those that are new, we have lots of community jokes. If you can't tell, these jokes, they're an optional flag. But sometimes some of the enemies will get named after a certain, after different community racers if they are, do something notable or, we like to have a laugh. In particular, I wanted to call this out. Archibald put this sprite together. I don't think anyone has seen him play this sprite before, right? Like, this is the first time he's using this sprite, I'm pretty sure.
He saved it specifically for Tornel.
So that he could race against Tornel, because Tornel is known for running into these mummies in the game and dying. So there's actually one you might find randomly, the mummies will be renamed to Tornel Huggers for that reason. So,
speaking of Captain Telefrag,
Captain Telefrag showed up again.
He didn't get a kill. Statue of Gold. No, I'm
there's
sad.
Flight.
I was really hoping
Flight.
that would be buried so much deeper. Well, they got the key to Stixie, and now they're going to have Flight. So the only thing that we're currently searching for at this point is either having to go all the way back through Goa again to get across the river, or we're looking for change. That is an opal statue.
So I suppose that's... I can't think of any other way they could... No, I think Code Gorilla mentioned this in chat. They could do a reverse crypt, couldn't they?
No, because you'll be stuck in the wall.
Oh,
if I'm
so
not
you
mistaken,
have to have both bows.
Yes. Well, if you want to do a reverse crypt, you do. But if you're trying to go in the front way, you don't need to. They won't need to. But the thing about it is, at this point, is that they already have pyramid access, so that wouldn't be necessary regardless.
Oh, right. And Axeman mentions that you can just exit over the Flight exit and the Goa.
Right.
To go through the back door.
That's what I was saying, is that they'd have to go back to where Sabera is and go across the river and into Oasis Cave. And that's going to be their Go access. If they don't find change here on either, Sabera or Clark.
Yeah, I got confused because we're sitting here fighting Sabera, and you're like, they have to go through Sabera. I'm like, well, yeah, she's right here, but...
Yeah, no, I was talking about Sabera too. Alright, down goes Sabera 1. And that's a Fruit of Power. Still have to pick that up because the boss flag is not cleared if the chest is not picked up. Alright, Tornel getting cute here by teleporting back to Zombie Town. Blizzard Bracelet. Okay. Well, something we didn't mention is that Sword Charge glitch is on. So that, at this point, gives them access to the Storm Bracelet if there's something that was, weak to Thunder again.
Still only 2 swords, though, right?
Yeah, we still only have 2 swords. So this is going to mean going back to Goa and going back through Sabera's area to get across the river into the Oasis Cave. That's going to be our access to Goa region.
There's not really any other flight checks, is there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have the Oasis Cave, you have Pyramid into the Sahara region. You also have, they have Stixie access, so they can do all of that. And if Hydra's open, they have access to all of that. Tornel's going to pick up his power ring and be like, damn it, I could have gotten this a long time ago.
Now with both people with flight and speed boots, they're going to be zipping through this game. Like, this is when the seed really opens up.
Alright, so where does Arch go? Straight to the Wild Warp to Sabera? Okay, he's going to go check out Swan. Okay, Arch remembers and is going straight back to Sabera. There it is. You like that one? How you go from one side of that door to the other side of the door with the wild warp.
The two wild warps there is so so pointless.
So good. The wild warps in this seed were just utter garbage. They were really bad.
I feel like we need a word that's not wild warp to describe like the randomized wild warp, because wild warp was already wild as it is, but now it's kind of just like wild warp or something. Someone more creative will think of a good word for it.
Man. I got nothing off the top of my head. Something's gonna come to me.
I'm leaving it up to you, chat. Figure it out, chat. What is wilder than wild warp? Trash teleport.
I mean, that's
We're getting
not
somewhere.
That's not bad, Gentetsu. You know, I would leave it up to Gentetsu for something like that after, you know, the number of dangerous buildings names that Gentetsu has come up with in the Dragon Dark streams. Okay, so far, Oasis Cave has been less than stellar. Mild Warp, that one's pretty solid for this seed.
You know, I'm feeling Stixie. They have the key to Stixie. It's got to be Stixie.
Well, we can't get through this wall. So that Oasis Cave had a tornado bracelet at the beginning of it and nothing else.
We sure love tornado bracelets here, you know? We've got no wind sword, but we've got the bracelet.
We sure do. We can power the hell up out of that thing when we find it. Tornel's going to Sahara, going to check his pyramid. That is an easy 3 items. Well, I mean, it could be 2 mimics and a consumable. Well, not really. It could be, you know, 2 consumables and a mimic. How's that? Could have been 2 shrimps in a cocktail, but this is not Zelda. Arch has decided to go to Goa first.
That palette on the entrance to Goa was just a palette.
It's a palette of something.
It's appalling. Come on, you can use. There you go. Look at that.
Arch remembering that. I'm gonna check the front entrance. Man, these iron walls are made of iron.
Solid titanium.
Yeah, nothing else came to me. All right, so Tornel, he got a magic ring out of the chest on the way to Dragon here.
Time to delete the boss. That was easy.
Now, the first person I saw do this was, I think, Leaf. Did it accidentally. And I was like, that is a brilliant use of an absolute brilliant use of the Blizzard bracelet. Wow. You know what? It was 3 consumables. It was better than what I was hoping for. That was 3 consumables. Alright, so what did Zebu give? I missed it over on Arch's side.
It was a consumable. He didn't even check what the consumable was.
God, it's all crap. It is all crap.
Alright, Team Stixie.
Are we going... Is he going to check Hydra first, or he's going straight to Stixie? Now,
You've got the key.
Logic dictates you go straight to Stixie. Rabbit boots. Nice to have, but you already have the power ring at this point and speed boots. Those aren't getting worn. I got news for you. So if you're a rabbit boots enthusiast, sorry, but yeah, those aren't getting used today.
So Archibald's going to check Hydra side first with flight. Oh.
Oh, but there is one check Arch can make here. So is this the Galaxy Brain play, or is this another consumable? This Hydra is brutal too, by the way. You see the enemies? You got flail guys, ninjas, and robots. That's an opal statue, so it's not the Galaxy Brain play, but it is nice to have.
We take those.
Yeah, we'll take it.
They still haven't made it through Mado 2, but with the power ring, they shouldn't have that much problem, but an opal is always just insurance.
Well, here's the really nice thing, is that they can sword charge glitch and warp right to him. So when they get whatever sword it is, even if it's fire, they can sword charge glitch a bracelet right onto it.
Oh, right, that's true.
So yeah, this Mado is going to be a little tame. Oh man, Arch almost
That's
burning.
an antidote.
Arch almost burning the opal there.
That's a fun little glitch you never get to do in the vanilla game, but the you can kind of just avoid the statue's Sword of Wind.
There it is. Okay, well that opens up a ton. Like a ton. I think that's 4 caves I've seen now that are all wind. Saber South, Carissa Plant, Waterfall, and Hydra are all wind. And we don't know about Fog Lamp because I don't think anybody's checked it. Warrior Ring.
They just have all of the powerful items right now. Just everything you could want.
So Tornel opted to do the same thing Arch did. Arch with very slightly less efficient routing here in Stixie left side, but nothing bad.
I think he's mostly worried about his health. He's out of consumable.
Oh! Nice beetle. And then he finds a medical herb. Yeah, so it's looking like a pretty hard play on this sort of wind. Now, Arch looks like he wants to go straight back and check the front side to go and activate Mado 1.
Alright, let's see if the titanium walls are weak to wind or fire. 50-50.
Yeah. Well, and they're all individual. So this one could be weak against wind, whereas all the other ones, and it's a wind wall. Today, that wall was made of rock.
You get the long walk to the Carmine, aided by the speed boots.
It's Calbask.
Oh, sorry, yeah. My brain was thinking, I hope it's Carmine, and then obviously it's Kelbask.
It's General Kilbasa. Yeah, now watch him be weak to fire. Just add a little icing on top of the crap cake. Nope. It is
Vanilla
wind.
weakness.
Yeah, just put the warrior ring on and blast him.
He's running him down.
Kelbesk sees what's happening here, and he's trying to put a stop to it. Vanilla weakness, too. Is this even randomized? I'm not convinced.
Alright. And that should lead to either... That's got to lead to, what, Carmine's area, right?
Yeah.
Because we already know Mado's connected to Sabera.
Yes. Yeah, you had 3 wild warps that were connected in a 5-foot radius. Just amazing.
And then
just amazing.
The shrine and the exit to the shrine next to each other.
Yeah.
We're really showing off what this new flag can do.
Disappointing. That is good. That is really good. Wow, that is fantastic. That's it right there. There's the term. Chat has delivered tonight. Hex 4F with the beautiful, and this is Carmine's Mimic Room. 2 consumables and 2 mimics. 3 consumables and 2 mimics. What is this? Carmine's
right,
like,
no barrier.
Try and raid this.
All right, Fire Week Carmine. Fire Week Carmine. Fire Week Carmine.
Yes!
Fire Week Carmine!
So Meta 1 had a consumable, so we're still not finding anything anywhere. Alright, Slime Kensu, what do you want? The ivory statue, another vanilla turn-in, and that thing is nowhere to be found.
He just straight up lied to you. He said it's downstairs.
It might be. Okay, if that had been the ivory statue, I swear to God. Now here's a question for you. Is Goa going up or is Goa going down?
With the randomization on, I'm not sure.
No. I mean, like, if you think about it, it comes out in the Oasis Cave, which is underground, right? And yes, you go down a few sets of floors. But are you going up in the castle or are you going down? I've never really thought about it.
I'm pretty sure you go up every time, because when you fall down, like Archibald just did there, you go up and then you fall down.
Oh, sure.
And so,
yeah,
and it's a castle,
right.
So you're ascending the castle, and then you go down all those floors until you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Going down the escape route at the back. Dragon had his own fire escape hiding at the back of it. I think Arch missed a check, by the way. On the left side, he got the item behind the wall.
I didn't see the other item.
I didn't see him check the other item, so I think he bailed on it. I mean, that would be a tragedy, but I think he did.
Now, it's still possible Mato 2 is Fire Week, right?
Yes. He sure is.
He sure is.
Alright, so now it's Portoa region. If I'm Arch, I'm going straight to Portoa. Again, we still haven't seen the Fog Lamp Cave, but we know that we can clear the other 2 at this point.
So I think this is the point in the seed where I revealed to everyone what I named the seed. Because you put in your, you can type in whatever you want as the seed hash or whatever, and it generates the seed based on that. I put in Go mode, Goa a la mode. So there it is. I think Go mode, that's why I'm thinking Go mode is hiding in the secrets of Goa here, and they need to get through it, and it is not. It's got the a la mode there, man. It's
Alright, first chest in Fog Lamp Cave is a consumable. Fruit of Rippin'.
Now that they have the Wind Sword, they've got a lot of clearing here to do in Portoa.
Yeah, I think the only... Is there any cave we haven't seen yet? I don't think so. I think Axe is right. Everything is open, but I think we've seen every wall in the game at this point.
Yeah. Well, I think there's one wall in Sibera in Goa Fortress, right?
No, they already broke that one, I think. Didn't they? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Arch broke it and it was a consumable.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Hydra was wind walls. Saber South is wind walls. Fog. All 3 in Portoa region were wind walls. So at this point, the only thing that Fire Sword is currently locking is Mato 2 and Carmine. We have 2 bosses that are blocked behind the Fire Sword.
We're also seeing a suspicious absence of the Bow of Truth.
True. Let's hope it's on the ivory statue, which is, buried in East BFE. Fruit of Lime! Wow, dude, Fog Lamp was a complete bust, too.
Man. Tornel's about to get some bad news here.
So if Arch did miss that chest, Joe says it's a mimic. What a What a G-brain blunder, huh? Alright, Arch gonna hit the Crystalis Plant Cave. Got 2 checks here. Also, these walls are snot green. It's looking like a Battletoads level. In fact, that even looks kind of like a Battletoads texture, like the background of the turbo tunnel.
Can see it.
Battle armor.
You know, Tornel just checked Windmill Cave, and he didn't have the sword for it. Was that a fire sword in Windmill Cave?
Oh, maybe it was. Yeah. Okay, so we have 1 cave. There is 1 cave that requires the fire sword. Tornel's gonna hit Saber South. He's got a pretty decent chance of having, you know, the bracelet too, because he's got half of them. So, and I didn't see what Tornel said he wanted. That's another consumable. Wow.
Oh boy.
Man, Portoa region so far, battle armor and nothing else.
Surprised he didn't give up after that and just say, you know, waterfall caves, not worth it.
I mean,
It's all cursed over here.
it might be. Let's see how cursed. Well, Tornel is also finding cursed items here on Saber South as he picks up a consumable and resets back. A consumable right off the bat.
This seed started off so linear too, and now it's just like, oh, you can check the entire world and there's nothing but junk left.
It is entirely linear because there's nothing anywhere except one place. Like there's been a complete correct path. Tornel's second item is a mimic. Saber South, mwah. Keep delivering.
Somewhere in this world is a fire sword, somewhere else is a bow of truth.
Well,
We don't know where they're at.
They're also missing change. They're also missing the Crystalis plant. They're also missing whatever item, which is almost assuredly at this point the Statue of Onyx. But they're missing whatever Aurelius wants. That's a storm bracelet. Arch, there was a chest right there. Where are you going? You have flight.
You have flight, Arch.
Arch, what are we doing? Arch has apparently had a senior moment and forgotten he has flight and decided to walk all the way around in the cave.
This is, you know, he's got speed boots to make up the time.
I honestly, he's got MP. It's not like I really don't know what was going through his head. Yeah, he's just getting his steps in. Oh my god. And the one bracelet that isn't available! So Saber South has nothing. All 3 caves in Portoa have nothing. What is
no
it,
change.
Hydra?
Can't do Brokahana.
It's Hydra! It's gotta be Hydra, there's nothing else.
Those were wind walls, right?
Yeah, it has to be Hydra. Arch double checking to make sure he hasn't gotten the item for Akahana.
Tornel about to be the most disappointed he's ever been in his life here.
God. Tornel's gonna be sitting there going, see, this is why I don't go to Foglamp Cave. Alright, Arch is checking Saber South, but not sure. Changing his mind. Okay, he's gonna hit Hydra.
He hasn't done Meta 1, has he?
No.
No.
No, he hasn't. Oh yeah, wait, hold on.
he's
Arch seems to be a little distracted at the moment. He's not really sure where to go or what to do.
Yeah, there is a bit of a decision paralysis. All right.
Oh, man. You know, this is what happens when you're training an AI to play for you in the middle of a tournament. It sometimes shows you that it's not quite there yet.
I just feel like I think you're right. I think it's Hydra, and Arch is making the right play.
Just-
I feel like he's just double guessing himself now, just
Double?
constantly
I think that was a triple guess.
triple guessing himself.
And he abandons Goes and Ledge, so he's orphaned Goes and Ledge at this point. You know, this is an hour in. We're at 33 scaling. Arch must feel like he's about 3 miles behind because all he's gotten is consumables.
Oh, those speed boots came in clutch.
Recover? Look at all the mummies!
Hanging out with his people.
Yeah.
There's Sword of
is.
Fire.
Wow. Okay. I'm guessing Arch must be confusing Mado 1 with Mado 2, and he probably thought he needed the Sword of Fire for it. He did not.
No. He immediately charged Windsword and...
Yeah, you know what? Never mind. I'm not even gonna guess because it was so nonsensical that even he doesn't know what he was doing. But you know what? Who cares? It's working. Keep it up, Arch. You're winning. What am I complaining about? He's winning. But you know what? Again, he did abandon Goes and Ledge. So if Goes and Ledge is holding on to something important, it's bad, okay?
So next up, time to go run back through. Is this when he remembers the Wild Warp? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Check. All right, here we go. Mado, let's do this.
It's surprisingly really hard when you're in it and you're thinking, how do I get there the fastest? You always think I can teleport here or I can walk here, but trying to remember, oh yeah, one of my Wild Warp spots puts me in the middle of, Sabera's floor. Like, it's really challenging, actually.
All right, Arch, let's see the sword charge glitch. Okay, here it goes. Arch using the sword charge glitch, gonna reset. Then gonna go back. Now he's gonna Wild Warp back to Mado, and we're going to have a much easier fight.
There it is. When I saw a sword charge glitch on in the flags, I was hesitant because I'm like, you have RO on. You're never going to need to break walls with the glitch sword, but this is where it comes into play.
Right, because battle magic is not guaranteed, so you can be forced to go through a boss having never, not having anything, and a shield ring. Excellent.
Those two almost shredded each other. Well, he opened the menu to heal there, so that means he lost his thing. So gonna have to poke out Carmine the slow way, but
he's got a warrior ring. Just blast him. It's Carmine. He's free. All right, so Tornel is about to pick up his Sword of Fire here. Gonna be right on Arch's heels, but you know what? Tornel is a little bit. Just barely behind at this point. The main thing is that Tornel didn't do all of Portoa region. He didn't do Waterfall Cave, and he may not have even done Fog Lamp Cave. I just saw him do Carissa for sure.
And as chat is pointing out, eyeglasses on Goes and Ledge.
Oh, that could be huge because we have the Alarm Flute.
We have dual access. We have the Alarm Flute.
Yeah, that was big. That's a big oof for. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that because it could be a a medical herb.
And with that, Arch has cleared all of the Tetrarchs.
That's a ball of fire. Broken statue, but we do not have a glowing lamp yet. All right, Arch, where are we going to go now?
Tornel making such quick work of the boss. I thought he'd just leave his speed boots off and then walk straight to Carmine. But
he sword charge glitched it, just went with it. Oh, he's going to check that wall. No, that wall was already checked, wasn't it?
I don't believe he's checked it.
Where are we going, Tornel? We're going to Oasis Cave? Is that what we're doing here?
Maybe a little lost.
Yeah, he probably doesn't remember how to get back to, doesn't remember how to get the Carmine.
Can always get in through the front.
Yep.
Or not?
Wait, still need Carmine. Alright, Arch going to do Dragon 1.
According to the tracker, Tornel hasn't beat Kelbesk 1 or 2 yet, so this is probably a good idea to go through the front, maybe?
No, he's
I
done.
think it's
He
slower.
did Kelbesk 2, because he
did?
already did all of Carmine's area. Yeah.
Right. Right.
So yeah, he has definitely done both Kelbesks. He's only missing Carmine at this point.
Let me mark that one then. So it might end up being a bow hunt here, which is funny because only one bow is needed.
I hope the next bow they find is Sun. Wouldn't that just really cap this seed off?
It's a real shame that it's not required to reverse crypt, but someday we'll roll that.
No. Why would you ever do that? Think about it.
Why would I do it? No, I'm not a racer.
Right, but what I'm saying is it should never be possible, because if you have flight with the way Wild Warp is set up, you almost assuredly are going to have access to something on that side of the map. So there's just not really a need. Like, it's not... It's such an extraordinarily specific set of circumstances that would ever make a reverse crypt happen.
But if it can happen, it will happen.
Now, as Chris mentioned, yes, in the WHAM seeds, those you can, because that's, map shuffle. But in this, it's like almost impossible to have it happen here.
There it is. Carmine eliminated.
Okay, so where is Arch? Arch is in Carissa. No, he's on Saber South. Sorry. He's on Saber South. Tornel, meanwhile, is wandering through Goa, not sure where to go. We haven't seen the ivory statue yet, so at this point, Tornel needs to go to Joel. That's what Tornel needs to do. He needs to go to Joel, and he needs to use those eyeglasses. He also has Vampire Cave.
Windmill, yeah. Windmill Cave is available.
Ah, we have the wall here. Yes. If this wall was fire, then this is a new check for Tornel as well. No, you already did that, Tornel. Never mind. No, nobody has the flame bracelet yet. Alright, Tornel is going to check the eyeglasses now.
Wave to Clark.
Hi, Superman.
Let's see what Kensu has to say. Iron necklace.
Alright, what do we got here? We have a statue of Onyx, which is almost assuredly the item that we need for Arillis. And it looks like Vampire Cave is where we need to go. Vampire Cave or Power Ring spot.
I was going to mention where Arch seems to be running right now is the vanilla Power Ring check in Oasis Cave. Arch and Tornel. If both Truth is there and they both find it at almost the exact same time, this race will have never been closer.
Right? Here's the thing. Arch has the Storm Bracelet. Tornel does not. Because the Storm Bracelet was in, what was it? Waterfall Cave? I think it was.
Come on. Bow Truth. Bow Truth. Bow Truth!
Oh my god. Well, alright, here it goes.
The race is on. Is he sword charge glitching? No.
He's going to Vampire Cave, but why?
Does he not realize?
He forgot that there's a crypt wild warp.
No. He's looking for Bow of Sun?
Tornel menuing. Actually, this is Tornel warping. We now have Tornel warping.
No.
This was a race, and then Tornel warping happened. Oh, and then he gets... Oh, no. The goose hunt has begun.
Oh, I was so excited.
This is such a tragedy. This is such a tragedy, man. This is now Arch's race to lose.
He loaded up on medical herbs too, though, so there's no way you lose that tower.
Did he equip the warrior ring? Oh, okay. I was like, what? Ah, oh, Tornel, man. And change. Oh, dude. Feels extremely bad. This is going to point him in every direction, but...
Does he start wild warping now?
Wow. Statue. Oh, no. He's just going to teleport. He's like, I don't need wild warp anymore. Yep. Yeah, he's going to hand it. Ah, oh, dude. Yeah, Arch is level 10. This is a max scaled tower with low levels. And even with the power ring, this could be dangerous. Yeah, you're on the wrong side there, Arch.
I think
he's trying to sword
Arch
charge.
Has it.
Is he trying to sword charge glitch fire? Is that what he's trying to do? Yep, he's going to sword charge glitch fire.
Well, Tornel is now go mode in his mind. He got Bow of Sun.
Are you kidding me? He got it. How bad?
No, he's wild warping.
Wait. Oh, please. What? I don't even know what is happening. We had Arch that had a senior moment at one point, and then Tornel has like just doubled down. Like I don't know what to say about this scene. This scene was so special, it got to both of them.
You know, 100% bow completion. That's what we needed this scene.
This is so good, dude. Oh, I feel for Tornel at this point. You know, like, he's got to feel like if I win this, I can't be anything other than, like...
Yes, I can't wait for the interview. I gotta know what's going through his mind right now. Like... These D2 patterns, though, are treating him well.
Yeah, he's getting quite the gift right here. But he took a hit, and that reset the RNG. It moved his position off. Well, he took a hit again, so... Oh, okay.
Third hits the charm?
It's reset his position back on the bad pattern.
Arch is already climbing the tower pretty far here.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost assured that Arch has this in the bag at this point, but...
I think he still has an opal, too, like...
Well, he doesn't have a lot of magic, that's the thing. Only got 2 rings, so he's being conservative. And Tornel just burns the opal because Dragon is just not cooperating anymore. Once he got hit and got off of the, the right position, it was just...
Dragon's just decided to eat some popcorn, have a good laugh about the Bow of Sun.
Oh, he's laughing. Alright, now we get the long lasers. Tornel, don't get bonked. Okay, down goes Dragon. Tornel is sitting here thinking, I still have a chance at this. We know he does not, but he thinks he does.
Alright, last floor for Archibald. He's switching straight to Thunder Sword, taking no chances.
Yep. Heard him up.
Epileptic viewers be warned. Probably a little late on that warning. Apologize.
All right, this is going to be a real clean run for Tornel. Tornel is quite adept in the Tower of Fire, so this will be easy.
Sword charge glitched fire.
Yeah, this is going to be quick and easy. Quick and painless.
Now, I don't believe they have barrier.
No,
So,
there's no barrier here.
and I'm not going to claim like Dyna's going to be hard, but there is a possibility that Dyna will be a little bit challenging without barrier for Arch.
I'm pretty sure he can man mode it. He's got an opal. He can man mode it.
Oh, that's right. Unless that opal gets burned by these last robots who are
true.
doing their darndest. He's got one more magic ring, so he should be good.
He just used it.
Oh.
Yeah, he just burned it.
Tornel making short work of the tower.
That was a misfire.
Heh. Fire sword, get it?
Oh, God.
Honestly, if that D2 pattern wasn't so garbage, this race would be even closer.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Man.
Crystalis formed. Time to shove it in the tower.
Arch forgetting you can skip the final text box. And we're gonna... God, this is the least final boss-like music ever.
Taking the slow route on the defense pods, but Tornel had to pause here, so he lost his fire.
This is almost as offensive as Baby Elephant Walk for this. Alright, well, the opal has been burned, and so, you know, we got one pod down. This is basically over, but... Dyna's trying hard. And
Taking it safe.
There we go.
There it is.
So we are going to have an official race time for Archibald here of about 1:16:35. There it is. GG.
GG Archibald. Great
Arch
work.
pulling it out thanks to a new wonderful thing. We just need to make sure that we get the finished button clicked for Arch so he gets his invite, and we'll get him in here for an interview.
Tornel saying, I'm done with this seed, charges it down. He has an opal, I think.
Tornel is going to be so unhappy. He's going to be so unhappy. God, nothing like getting another thing named after you. I don't think skipping goes and ledge is what did it. It definitely is not what did it. I mean, that was just dumb luck on Arch's part. No, what did it was Tornel warping. Tornel warping is what won Arch this race.
Okay, so let's go through the things that we need to know. Skipping goes in ledge, walking around water sword cave or waterfall cave, taking the long way around the scenic route.
Yeah, yep. We have the senior moment around Hydra where he walked out, warped back, walked out, came back again for when he was around doing Mado 1.
There was what else? I swear there was some other ones that were just...
Arch also had the river that wouldn't ice over.
Oh,
it was
right.
It was a warm river that day, okay? Somebody had just recently peed in the river, and it was very warm, and it would not ice over.
Forgetting to talk to Oak Mom. That's right.
Yes, also forgetting
So
to talk
much.
to Oak Mom. Yeah, this seed was full of blunders today. The nerves must have been getting to everybody.
It's just the first race of the season. People are just getting their jitters out, and
Yep.
Man, all right. So Arch has joined the Discord. Let's should we drag him up in here, or is he?
Oh, he'll come
Tornel
on his
is
own
too.
when he's ready. I just can't wait for Tornel to join, because when Tornel gets in here.
I already know.
Oh, do you? What do you know, Tornel? You want to tell us what you know?
Tornel menuing, that's what I know.
It's not Tornel menuing this time.
Basically.
We got Tornel warping this time.
It's the same result. Well, I mean, the bigger issue is I wasted time getting the bow I didn't need.
That's where your Tornel warping came from, because once you got that bow of truth, all you had to do was warp back to the crypt. In fact, you and Arch got the bow of truth 8 seconds apart. This was a race.
Oh my gosh.
This was a race, and then Tornel decided to forget that there was a wild warp spot to the crypt, and went and found the bow. And then wild warp to the crypt after he got the bow.
The worst part is, I remembered it the whole time. I just didn't think, for whatever reason, I didn't realize I didn't need the bow. I don't know. I never forgot I had it, but
So
it just didn't click.
This seed was legendary. There was so much good in this seed. The beginning part of this seed was so good. Like, J-Ro and I were pretty much falling out of our chairs with the way that this run started. It was so good.
I can't wait to rewatch it then. It's going to be
fun. It was beautiful.
Yeah, the hell run to Oak. Yeah,
it
was good.
We have many, many questions for you, Mr. Arch.
Oh my gosh, I have so many issues. Like, that's the first time I've sword charge glitched in like 2 years. I didn't do it in any of the seeding races or anything, so I had to remember everything.
Oh, that was fine. That worked out great for you. How about the river that wouldn't freeze over at the beginning?
Oh yeah, that's right. What happened with that? I had no clue. I thought we like glitched the game. I was like, oh crap, is this gonna be something breaking or anything?
So it's a result of the wild warp. When you wild warp directly into Cordell Plains like that, it's loading the right half of the map, which means none of the triggers on the left side exist, including the river. So you actually have to hit a cave or a town. It's not really fixable either, as far as I'm aware. It would. I don't really know what it would take to get that adjusted, but it may not be fixable. The next thing we have to ask about your, I mean, I made a joke that it was a senior moment, but you warped to Chiron, walked out onto Hydra, got really confused, warped back to Chiron, walked out onto Hydra, and then warped back to Chiron.
I did it 3 times? I thought I only did it once.
I think you walked back in.
Oh, you might have walked back in. That's what it was. And it was like right before you were doing Mado 1. You just were going back and forth between Chiron and Hydra a couple times. Like, I don't know what I'm even doing right now.
I was probably just trying to think of where I wanted to go. And, like, I was so frustrated. Like, was that after Portoa? Because I went through all 3 caves and got absolutely nothing other than, I guess, like, I think I did get the Storm Bracelet at the end.
You did get the Storm Bracelet from the Waterfall Cave.
Yeah,
I think it was.
So I was fuming at the time, so I was just over the sea because it was already an hour in, and yeah, I probably just didn't know what I was doing or wanted to do because I knew I had to play like really aggressive with Tornel because I know I orphaned a couple of spots. I know like the ledge and then the left side of Carmine.
Didn't miss anything.
Yeah, so I got lucky on that.
So here's a fun one regarding the Waterfall Cave. Any particular reason you decided not to fly over the river to the chest and walk all the way around to the other side and break the wall and then come back?
No reason. Senior moment. I'm pushing upper 30s now, so I get to have one every now and then.
I think Waterfall Cave is the only thing I didn't do in that seed.
This scene it's so fun to watch it back because there's such genuine confusion from J-Ro and I as we're trying to figure out some of the things you guys were doing as you were clearly lost. There were many moments of like, what are we doing? Where are we going?
We were fine for the beginning of the seed. It was just the end of the seed just opened up.
Yeah, it was basically, once you got the wind sword, then the rest of the seed was like, hey, the world's your oyster.
There's like 5 caves that had wind walls, so it's like, well,
which
one is going to be the one, you know?
There's one cave that was fire. There were 5 caves that were wind. There was 2 caves that were water, and there was 1 that was thunder.
And the bow of truth was behind a firewall.
Yep.
Oasis.
Yeah, it was the power ring spot.
Yep. I got that a lot earlier.
Did.
Yeah, than certain things. Yeah.
So I wanna point out something here. When we look at the bow of truth to D2 timing for Archibald, like that was roughly 2 minutes, and then from the bow of sun, which is where Tornel really kicked in and was like, oh yeah, I can wild warp into the crypt and go beat him. So right at that point, there is a 3-minute gap there. You see, Tornel had a really godlike, amazing D2 pattern, and then D2 was like, you know what? Worst pattern time. We're one with good patterns. I will only throw popcorn, and it took an extra minute off of his time. Without that minute, you guys would have been neck and neck.
Yeah, as soon as Tornel got bopped with that laser and it pushed him off the pixel of the good pattern, it was over. Dude, Dragon was like, I'm not cooperating anymore.
Yeah. Because
and I know I didn't have a strong tower at all, so I would have definitely probably lost that.
Now, here's the deal. That Gozen ledge that you skipped, that had the eyeglasses.
Ooh.
And if Kensu had been holding on to something more important, this might be a completely different race. But the couple of things that you decided to bail on just strictly didn't matter this time.
That's what it takes to win sometimes on some of these like really competitive races. So
yep, sometimes lucky, sometimes unlucky.
But yeah, overall, I'd like to thank the Mummy for the win. I mean, brought out the new sprite and gave me
a great sprite. Great sprite.
You'll have to check it out at some point, Tornel. Archibald went out of his way to make a mummy sprite just for this. So
he made a mummy sprite for this, and then even hung out with the mummies at the top of Mount Hydra for like 5 seconds.
Beautiful.
Have I been muted this whole time?
You were muted. Yeah.
Oh my god, I've been talking. I thought you guys could hear me. Yeah, he sent me a picture of the mummy ahead of time, a screenshot, so I knew about it.
Man, I'm trying to think of. I swear there was something else in this seed that was just so. We were inches away from having to do a reverse crypt if you didn't have. If you weren't able to get through the boss in Goa to get out of Goa with flight, then there could have been a chance where the bow of sun was required to get out of crypt the other way.
That's what I was thinking of for a long time, but then it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's extraordinarily rare to have it happen.
Well, I gotta ask.
First bow really early. Earlier.
Yeah, the completely worthless bow of moon at the start. Yeah. I gotta ask, Tornel, did you? I swear there was something at the start with the hell run through the bug. Like, I felt like you were avoiding it at the start. I can't remember. It's been a while, and it was a long seed.
I don't know if I was necessarily avoiding it. I was kind of panicking. I was like, is this going to be a broken seed where it wants us to do a hell run to the bug for some reason, and then we're going to get stuck? That's all I was worried about. But that didn't happen.
Arch tried to find the child without talking to the mother.
Oh, that's right. That was the point where you guys basically converged. Was right there at the Oak Mom. because of that slip up where you forgot to talk to the mom. Both of you came together, had a hug, and then split off again. But overall, it was a very competitive race the entire time.
Yeah, it was great.
Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. So, I mean, I definitely had fun.
Yeah, we got started here, and we were a little flustered right when we got the event going. But once we got into it, this was a beauty. This was a great race to kick it off. It was so wonderfully showed all the great things that Wild Warp can do to open your seed up. We were so excited to see all those great locations, and yeah, it was such a wonderful seed.
Especially the Goa palette, that bright green.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones in this. Goa's town was also wonderful. Well, has anybody got anything else they want to add here before we wrap this one up, close it down?
I do want to shout out Speedgaming.
Yeah.
Of course.
When's the next race?
Tomorrow, I believe.
But yeah, also join our Discord and CrystalisRandomizer.com if you want to come join in. And look forward to more races in the future.
Yep. There's one other thing I needed to add to this. And I just
Speedgaming live tickets are available still.
Yeah.
True. Yes,
right.
that's right. So SGL still has tickets for those that want to go to the live event, and Speedgaming is still looking for volunteers for the event. If anybody who is going is interested, please contact the Speedgaming team, and they'll get you set onto the right path for that.
And with that, I think we're ready to close up shop.
All right,
Yeah.
one more button to press. Thank you
All
all.
righty. Thanks a lot, everybody. We will catch everybody on the next one. We'll see you tomorrow, and thanks for hanging out and watching. Thanks to Speedgaming.